Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel, your host, and this is our last week being hosted by the good folks here at Belletetes in Andover, one of 8 locations serving you in New Hampshire. We'll hear from Kerry Rochford Hague about the Granite State Respect Week and other initiatives at Turningpoints Network. We'll revisit a piece we did at the Contoocook RailRoad Museum. Bruce McCloy will tell us about very exciting sailboat races coming to our Lake Sunapee this summer. And we'll close our 4 weeks at Belletetes with Matt Conrad, the paint manager here in Andover. But first, a few words from the good local businesses that make your Yankee Chronicle possible. Please stay with us.
Even though our daily lives are different, one fact remains unchanged. Blood is needed every day by patients facing a range of serious illnesses. If you're healthy, please schedule an appointment to donate by visiting redcrossblood.org.
Some say e-cigarettes aren't dangerous.
But science shows nicotine can harm teens' developing brains.
No matter how they're exposed.
Let's do an experiment to find out.
Here's a teen who won't be using e-cigarettes.
Now we need one willing to risk their brain development.
Care to volunteer your kid?
We all know ticks suck blood, but even a tiny tick can make you super sick. When you're outdoors, wear protective clothing and an EPA-registered insect repellent. And remember to check for ticks everywhere. Go to ticksuck.org for more information. Ticksuck.org.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel. Turningpoints Network has partnered with thousands of domestic and sexual violence survivors over the years. Let's hear about some of their recent work. Hi, Kerry.
So Turningpoints Network, part of our mission is actually providing prevention education to local schools. And we provide this education actually preschool through college. And our focus is really on helping young people learn healthy relationship skills. We have programming that we offer at the elementary level, programming we offer at the middle and high school level. Right now we are involved with many of our local elementary schools teaching the Healthy Relationships Project, which is part of a curriculum through Prevent Child Abuse Vermont, and it's focused on child sexual abuse prevention. So what we know is that 1 out of 10 children will experience some form of sexual abuse before the age of 18. And so we have a strong commitment to prevention, to helping not only students learn healthy relationship skills, but also to provide training for staff and provide workshops for parents and caregivers so that we can really strengthen the safety nets for children. It's a different focus and kind of thinking about what's our responsibility as adults to help protect children from sexual abuse. And so again, those components of staff training and parent and caregiver trainings are important pieces of that comprehensive approach. And then our work with the kids is looking at things like pro-social skills, social emotional learning, such as empathy, being able to recognize feelings in oneself and recognize feelings in others, healthy coping skills, boundaries, because we know that all of these skills are really important in helping to protect children from abuse and to give them really those strong protective factors. And we were very excited this year to partner with 3 of our local high schools during Granite State Respect Week. And Granite State Respect Week is coordinated by the New Hampshire Coalition Against Domestic and Sexual Violence, of which we are one of the member programs. And they provide information to local high schools to basically offer a spirit week. So lots of folks are familiar with, people, they wear their pajamas to school one day, or they all wear a certain color one day, or they all wear silly hats one day. And Respect Week is they pick a different theme each day and they have activities. So it might be recognizing signs of a healthy relationship. It might be learning about Title IX. It might be learning about what are the local resources to support folks who maybe are in a relationship that is not a healthy relationship. And it's really a student-led initiative, which is great. So it's getting the young people involved. There was a strong component this year earlier on encouraging young people to post information about healthy relationships and information about Respect Week on social media. So it's a great way to meet young people where they are and have them take an active role in helping to educate their peers about the importance of talking about healthy relationships and helping people access the support that they might need. We hear this a lot from young people in the school when they talk about, oh yeah, I've got a friend in a toxic relationship. And so we talk with them about that. What does that mean, right? Because we want to help them be able to recognize warning signs of a controlling relationship, recognize warning signs of a relationship that's really imbalanced, or maybe it's an intense relationship. It starts off fast and there's just not that comfortable pace in the relationship. So really what young people want to know is, how do I know when a relationship is a good one? And we need to help give them those skills, right? To be able to recognize signs of a healthy relationship like respect and equality and communication and boundaries, right? And then to recognize what are the behaviors that might threaten those components of a healthy relationship. So Granite State Respect Week is a wonderful tool to do that. We're able to offer the students some fun giveaways. They had sunglasses, they had some fidgets, there were fun pens, and just things to kind of get young people thinking about the importance of talking with each other about healthy relationships. So people can contact us 24 hours a day through our crisis and support line, which is 1-800-639-3130. We were able during the pandemic to also begin to offer texting and chatting services. They are not 24 hours, but all of that information is at our website, which is Turningpoints Network, so plural, turningpointsnetwork.org. And if people go to that website, they will find the different ways that they can connect with us, because we realized that for some people, especially early in the pandemic when people were sheltering at home, and they may have been at home with people who were not safe and they couldn't make a phone call to reach out to us, that being able to have these additional ways for people to contact us through texting and chatting was really important. And I think that will continue because we know that's a way that people have been able to reach us.
Thanks, Kerry. Unfortunately, it's work that still needs to be done. When we return, our Elizabeth Durazio and Steve Lux will tell us about another interesting local culture institution, the Contoocook RailRoad Museum. But first, these words from the good folks that make our communities the great places they are, and the businesses that support us, and the organizations you use and love.
Even though our daily lives are different, one fact remains unchanged. Blood is needed every day by patients facing a range of serious illnesses. If you're healthy, please schedule an appointment to donate by visiting redcrossblood.org.
We all know ticks suck blood, but not just in the woods. Ticks can be almost anywhere year-round. Even though some are smaller than the head of a pin, they're big trouble. Even a tiny tick can make you super sick. So wear protective clothing and an EPA-registered insect repellent. And when you shower, remember, check for ticks everywhere. If you get a tick, tell an adult and go to ticksuck.org to learn how to remove it properly. Ticks suck, but being outdoors shouldn't. Ticksuck.org.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. When you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
The annual meeting and deliberative session for the Kearsarge Regional School District will be held on Saturday, January 8, 2022 at 9 a.m. in the Kearsarge Regional High School Auditorium located on North Road in North Sutton, New Hampshire. Inclement weather date is January 15th. Voting will take place on Tuesday, March 8th in each of the district communities. The warrant articles are available on the district website. Please come and participate.
At Wounded Warrior Project, while we all deal with the effects of COVID-19, our greatest concern is for the health and safety of our nation's wounded heroes, especially those who are at increased risk due to their service to our nation and those who are even now more isolated. We are connecting with warriors and families by adapting our free life-changing programs, including increased phone and video support and online services. The need has never been greater, and we've never been more committed. Please support warriors today.
We all know know ticks suck blood, but even a tiny tick can make you super sick. When you're outdoors, wear protective clothing and an EPA-registered insect repellent. And remember to check for ticks everywhere. Go to ticksuck.org for more information. Ticksuck.org.
Welcome back. I'm Abby Peel, your Yankee Chronicle host this week at Belletetes here in Andover. Another visit our Elizabeth D'Orazio made last year was to the Railroad Museum. Tell us more, Elizabeth.
Welcome to the historic Contoocook Railway Museum right here in the heart of Hopkinton. I'm joined by Steve Lux. He is the vice president here, and he's going to tell us about the ongoing efforts to preserve this gorgeous passenger car right here with us. Tell us, Steve, what we're going to do to make sure this is here for future generations.
Thank you, Elizabeth. One of the things that we try to focus on here is, of course, battling the elements of the weather. A couple of years ago, we had a fundraising effort to purchase a custom-built tarp, essentially, for the coach, which we've placed on the coach every year over the winter months, and has helped slow down the deterioration process of the coach. But one of the things that we can't seem to get ahead of is the rain and other ongoing problems. At this point, the coach has seen quite a bit of deterioration underneath the roof structure, on the side walls, and in order to properly address those issues, we really need to have the coach covered permanently. So one of the things that we're exploring is building a pavilion of sorts over the coach. And what we're hoping to do is engineer a pavilion that fits very well into the village here. It would match some of the farming type structures in this community, be very similar to the depot and other structures. And what that would allow us to do is essentially just put a roof over the coach. At this point, there'll be quite a battle ahead in order to get something like that accomplished. We do have zoning requirements and other things that we need to address. This particular structure, because of its location on the property.
So it sounds like there's a lot that needs to go into saving this. So you're looking for people in the community to not only help perhaps with, fundraising and funds, but perhaps to get involved in that process of zoning, permitting, grant writing, things like that.
Yeah, so one of the things that we'll need to address is a variance through the local zoning ordinance. And so we need the public support in order to get something like that passed. And that's because of how close the coach is to the property lines. The cost of the structure itself is likely estimated around $20,000 to $25,000. We're hoping that we can use local contractors and volunteer support to make that happen so that the cost wouldn't be as high. But essentially that is what we're looking at here.
And it really is important to do that. I know the tarp has been really a great help, but the issue is with the torrential rains of this past year, it really took more of a toll out than you guys expected. I mean, I don't think anyone expected that with any of their properties.
No.
Now, the coach itself is worth saving because despite the fact that it has some areas that need repair, overall, it's in decent shape, right?
Yes, the interior is actually quite sound. We have had many events inside the coach between our annual dinners and Polar Express readings for the children, as well as private birthday functions for kids. It's actually quite a focal point for a lot of individuals. And unless we can address some of the deterioration and other issues, we just can't open it up to the public. It's really not in the best of care at the moment, so we need to address those.
So things we can do to get involved, how can we help give?
There's many ways. General funding can be done through normal donations right through our website. We do sell a number of items throughout the year in the depot, mugs and hats and so forth. We recently have done some other widespread campaigns. We've seen some generous donations for similar projects, and so we'll be launching a pretty robust campaign hopefully sometime in the next 6 months when we get everything finalized.
We know our public and our audience love to support organizations like this, and I'm sure we'll find a way to preserve this car for future generations to enjoy the true history of the railway in New Hampshire.
Thanks. When we return, Bruce McCloy will tell us about an exciting Lake Sunapee event coming to us this summer. But first, this snapshot of the local businesses that keep this show coming to you.
all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
For children fighting critical illness, we can make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Help us make every wish come true.
Every year, thousands of animals are killed by poachers. You can protect them. Join us.
At Wounded Warrior Project, while we all deal with the effects of COVID-19, our greatest concern is for the health and safety of our nation's wounded heroes, especially those who are at increased risk due to their service to our nation and those who are even now more isolated. We are connecting with warriors and families by adapting our free life-changing programs, including increased phone and video support and online services. The need has never been greater, and we've never been more committed. Please support warriors today.
Welcome back. I'm Abby Peel, your Yankee Chronicle host today, coming from Belletetes Building Specialist in Andover. Bruce McCloy joins us for some exciting news about an event happening on Lake Sunapee this summer. Hi, Bruce.
The World Sonar Sailing Championships are going to be held on Lake Sunapee in 2022. They're going to be hosted by the Lake Sunapee Yacht Club and presented by the Lake Sunapee Cruising Fleet. And we're going to have racing. The racing will take place June 16th through the 19th, 2022. And we'll have up to 4 races a day out on Lake Sunapee on the upper end of the lake, basically across from the yacht club. There's a sonar behind me here. It's Lake Effect, skippered by Belletetes, and I told him I'd give him a plug. And they're 23-foot racing sailboats. They were originally designed in 1980 was when they first came out as a racing class sailboat. So for 40 years they've been a racing class sailboat around the world, and they're totally designed for racing. All the controls are right up in the front of the cockpit, and it's going to be some exciting racing. There'll be some skippers from across the country and possibly around the world coming to Lake Sunapee in 2022. Well, the last time they held the championships, the World Championships, were in 2019 out in western New York on one of the Finger Lakes. So there was no racing in 2020. There's been no racing this summer. So this will be the first race in 3 years. So we're expecting anywhere from 25 to 30 boats to travel to Lake Sunapee for the event. Well, the quality of the sailing, I mean, this is the World Championships. It's a very popular racing class. And I have to mention that Brian Doyle, who skippers Renaissance out of the Lake Sunapee Yacht Club, finished second in 2019 out in New York at the World Championship. So he'll be racing this year along with a bunch of other boats from the Lake Sunapee Cruising Fleet. We have 8 or 9 sonars in our fleet, and a number of those will be participating in the World Championship. So we'll have a lot of local people racing, plus some renowned skippers from across the country and hopefully around the world coming to race. Well, they're basically up to 4 races a day. The races take anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. They set basically an up and back course. It's a kind of an international course set that's used for a lot of racing classes. So the boats will hit the starting line. They'll race upwind, downwind, a number of times on the course, depending on the wind conditions. And then they score the races 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and the cumulative low points for however many races they have. They can have up to 12, 3 a day for 4 days, up to 12 races. They just take the lowest combined score would be the winner of the event. They all start together each race. Okay, well the event's being hosted by the Lake Sunapee Yacht Club, and they have an active racing class of star sailboats, and they race periodically throughout the summer. and it's being presented by the Lake Sunapee cruising fleet. We're basically doing all the work behind the scenes to pull this thing together. And we have 16 boats in our fleet. We have a fleet of sonars, eight or nine sonars are in our fleet, and then we have 8 or 9 boats that are totally different. And the sonars race together in one class, and then the other boats race together in another class with handicapping. And we're out there every Wednesday night, 14 nights over the course of the summer. And then we also race, the cruising fleet races several Sundays. We have 2 races on Sundays afternoons. So we have a lot of, the cruising fleet puts on quite a few races during the course of the summer. Some of the skippers on the boats coming into the area may leave a spot open for a local, because they know the lake, and lake sailing is different than ocean sailing. When you're out in the ocean, the wind pretty much blows out of the same direction at the same strength all the time. When you're on a lake, it's a lot different with the mountains around the lake and the topography and the shifting winds, and the Sunapee Harbor can affect the winds coming out from the west. So it's good to have some local knowledge on your boat. So some skippers or crew from boats in our club and the yacht club may be involved on the boats racing. The racing will take place June 16th through the 19th, 2022, and they'll have up to 4 races a day out on Lake Sunapee, on the upper end of the lake, basically across from the yacht club.
Bruce tells us as of today they have 17 boats registered. 2 are coming from Norway and 1 from Nova Scotia. They hope to have between 20 and 25 boats this summer. Casella Waste Management has come in as the title sponsor, and they have over 35 local businesses and individuals supporting the event as sponsors, for which the staging team is very appreciative. Mark your calendars. When we return, Matt Conrad, the paint manager here at Belletetes, will join me. But first, let's visit a few of the community-minded businesses that support your Yankee Chronicle.
For children fighting critical illness, we can make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Help us make every wish come true.
We all know ticks suck blood, but not just in the woods. Ticks can be almost anywhere year-round. Even though some are smaller than the head of a pin, they're big trouble. Even a tiny tick can make you super sick. So wear protective clothing and an EPA-registered insect repellent. And when you shower, remember, check for ticks everywhere. If you get a tick, tell an adult and go to ticksuck.org to learn how to remove it properly. Ticks suck, but being outdoors shouldn't. Ticksuck.org.
Even though our daily lives are different, one fact remains unchanged. Blood is needed every day by patients facing a range of serious illnesses. If you're healthy, please schedule an appointment to donate by visiting redcrossblood.org.
We all know ticks suck blood, but even a tiny tick can make you super sick. When you're outdoors, wear protective clothing and an EPA-registered insect repellent. And remember to check for ticks everywhere. Go to ticksuck.org for more information. Ticksuck.org.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Every year, thousands of animals are killed by poachers. You can protect them. Join us.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and we're coming to you from Belletetes here in Andover, and we're excited to be here. We seem to come here every spring and talk about things for your house in spring. I'm now joined by Matt Conrad, who's the paint manager. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Abby. Welcome back.
Thank you. We love coming here. Last time we were in your territory, taking up your counter space, so this might be a little easier for you this time. But I always do enjoy going to your section because it probably is one of the most pretty parts of the store.
Thank you. Thank you. We try hard.
Yeah, that's good. Tell us about what's happening in the paint department.
Well, You know, well, everybody says supply line, issues and supply chain, and we do have some of those issues.
Sure.
But Benjamin Moore is really ahead of a lot of the competition when it comes to that. Our out of stocks are minimal.
Good.
And if we can't get a certain line of the paint, we have other options available. So we're doing actually pretty well.
That's good. And your main line of paint is Benjamin Moore here,
Yes.
which is important for people to know. Tell us about, you told me right before we started that they are now offering a smaller size sample, which you must be thrilled about.
Yeah. Yes, takes less space.
Yeah.
They're offering half-pint sample cans now.
Wow.
People were saying, you get a pint and you're really wasting a lot of it.
Yeah.
We need a bigger an area
Sure.
to see your color. So, yeah, they've gone to a half pint, which we're starting to bring everything in.
Wow.
So
that must be a big first order and shipment that
it
you
is,
rely
yes.
on
Yes.
to make sure you have
Hopefully
all
it'll
half
all-
pints.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really important thing, I think, because when you're trying to, try something on a wall, you don't want to keep buying all these pints that can really add up if you don't like the color.
Right.
So a half pint makes a big difference.
Yep.
One of the most fascinating things that I find, and I need to come and see you on a personal note, is color matching. And I think that's really cool. I have a screen door that needs to be repainted, but we purchased the house from someone else, so we don't know exactly what the color is. And so I could bring that in and you could help.
Absolutely. Even if you can get a chip off the door.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't, what the size of a dime.
Wow.
You could do, yep. We can also match competitor colors, so other companies that are struggling to get paint and have product, we can color match it and put it into Benjamin Moore. Yep.
Wow. And what's the process of that? If I bring you in a chip, do you have a machine that marks it together?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
And no matter the age, I think this is kind of an old door.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yep.
And talk about, as we go into spring, which is always exciting, people may walk around their house or go on their deck and say, oh no, this didn't last well over the winter. What are some of the things that people can do and come in to make sure that they're repairing their paint properly?
Well, you always want to make sure you prep properly. You clean the deck, you get any stains that are on there off of there. It depends upon the condition of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
If some decks are okay and you just want to give a color to it, or a new deck and you want a color, we have the Arbor Coat from Ben Moore, and that's a great product. If you've got a deck that's kind of deteriorated and needs some help, we have other products. It's called Rock Solid from Rust-Oleum.
Oh.
That can restore wood that's decayed or things like that. It's just a thicker film.
Sure.
So it helps to kind of tighten things up and make it last longer, so you don't have to really repair or replace your
every
deck.
year. Yeah. Or keep doing it every
Right,
year.
yeah.
And you're not just the paint department as well. I'm sure people can come in and learn about paint accessories that they may need or stains, things like that. You can help them with all those different projects.
We have, all kinds of sundries, Purdy, Worcester. We carry Sickens, Penfin, quite an extensive line of products in the whole department.
I like coming in and saying, this is what I need, can you help me? And you'll point me in the right direction instead of me grabbing the wrong thing, and that's important. You're a wealth of knowledge.
Well, thank you.
Well, Matt Conrad, always happy to have you on our segment and talk about paint, because I think it's one of the most fascinating departments here. So thank you so much for joining us.
Right.
Thanks for joining us for the last 4 weeks from Belletetes here in Andover. Check out their website for more information on their products and services. Next week, we'll be coming to you from the Lake Sunapee region, VNA, and hospice. Our game of the week this week will be a replay of our Hollis Brookline versus Lebanon football game from last September. All our games replay at 12 noon and 5 p.m. on Sundays and Mondays on WYCX. Check out other outside television programs of original shows featuring the most exciting extreme sports from rock climbing, biking, water sports, and of course skiing. I'm Abby Peel. Join us again next week from the Lake Sunapee region, VNA, and hospice at this same time for another edition of Yankee Chronicle. Stay safe, everyone.